Yo. Okay. Let's see if we can't finish this. So, my objective is to wipe out this entire army over here. Oh, there they are. I was like, where's my spells? Oh no! Frog. A member of the famously stinky, let's see, in particular, this one is a frog division, which stands for fairly rotten oral hygiene. These commandos undergo intense training in eating raw garlic and onions, going for days without brushing their teeth, and taking extra long naps for super nasty morning breath. A green fog surrounds the guy as he steps up to yawn at you. He exhales in your direction, but you hold your breath until the cloud passes. You know, eating the raw garlic right before an attack, sure, but, garlic does a pretty good job of, killing bacteria and funguses and everything else. Like, if you were to eat raw garlic every day, your oral hygiene would probably be well above average. But it would be horrific. I'm telling you. You ever take raw garlic, take a clove, take out one little pieces, go ahead, peel it, and then just... You won't make the mistake twice. That is not a mistake you will repeat. Oh. Yeah, really, I speak from experience. Okay, I say you'll never repeat it. I've done it multiple times. As I said, it's actually good for, reasons. It kills things. Garlic, it's actually... There's a few things found in nature that are actually extremely good for different things. One of them is garlic for killing bacteria and fungus. It's literally the reason that it's supposed to kill vampires. Vampires, if you look at the old descriptions of vampires from way back when, sound a lot more like zombies. And the plague and, you know, that kind of stuff was kind of part of them. Even the more modern ones, ever since Dracula, they're, you know, they don't smell bad, they're suave, you don't have pieces of them rotting off or anything. But the old ones, plague and disease was, you know, it was part of the vampire. So garlic was their bane. Yeah. Other things in old times medicines that were, you know, actually worked include honey. You can pack your injuries with that all you like. It's fine. Not as good as modern medicine by any means, but a hell of a lot better than the other things they were doing back then. Oh my gosh. This one was actually positive. And you ever wonder why all the cleaning products have a lemon scent to them? Lemons. Lemons are, you can use them to clean things, actually, fairly effectively. I don't know if it's the citric acid or what. I don't know exactly why it is, but it is. Vinegar also. Actually, if you take a bunch of lemons, cut them up, and dump them in a bottle of vinegar and, you know, let it soak for a bit, the resulting product, just lemons and vinegar, will actually disinfect and kill a surprising amount of stuff. Molds, just all kinds of things. It is actually, as simple as that is actually highly effective. But not as effective as products you can just buy off of a store shelf these days because, you know, science. But if you ever find yourself thrown through a time hole and you're, you know, I don't know, maintaining a king's palace at some point in history and you actually have access to lemons, which might not be, well, you know, shipping back then. But if you find yourself in that scenario, or some weird-ass fantasy world, no! Vinegar and lemons! Highly effective. I don't know what old man. Oh, right, the old man wanted a boot that he'd lost in the sea. I remember now. Right. I don't actually have very much experience with bleach. Very little. Bleach is a dangerous product. Not because it's going to kill you if it comes into contact with your skin. I mean, maybe it will. I have no idea. I don't work with the stuff. No, bleach is dangerous for your carpeting. Yeah, you get a little bit of bleach on your carpets, and, well, yeah, there's no fixing that. You'd have to cut that piece of carpeting out and bring in new. That's just going to be some spots that are just bleached. And, I mean, the carpeting's the worst, because carpets are expensive, but, I mean, theoretically, almost anything. Like, you get the bleach on almost anything, and it's going to do what it does. It's bleach, after all. But as far as I know, it is one of the most highly effective things for cleaning with, for most problems. But, yeah, you just have to deal with the fact that it's fricking bleach. It is very effective, though. It does work. If you want things white, I think it started with clothing and fabrics, honestly. If you ever have white clothing, it doesn't stay white. It's almost impossible to keep white actually looking white. So, if you're a wealthy individual, maybe a member of the aristocracy, and you want to set yourself apart from those plebeian mud farmers who are rolling around in pig slop all day, well, you might be interested in doing something that they can't. Now, you could try buying expensive dyes. But if you're not ridiculously wealthy, like royalty wealthy, you're going to have limited success with that, because the dyes, they're so expensive and they don't last long. You're going to be stuck with more pastel kind of colors. But if you're able to have a white that is really white, oh, well, that's going to set you apart from the masses instantly. Anyone will recognize you immediately if you've got if you can really do that. So, you got to boil them. In the 1800s, they called them boiled shirts. No, they pronounce it all weird. A boiled shirt. So, you'd add bleach, and you'd have a really white piece of fabric that you could wear. I think that's where bleach really got its start, and then the fact that it was a very effective cleaning product at a point in history when there weren't a whole lot of effective cleaning products. Actually, I might be projecting. Bleach might not be as old as I think it is. Again, I'm not an expert on it. Bleach might not be as old as I think it is. Then again, we had noble... Well, actually, we still have royalty, so, I mean, my example's fine. We've still got royalty in places in the world. Nah. If I want to claim it started with the wealthy and powerful, it probably did. So, Oh, God, no! Bad. I still haven't tried the Borderlands. Anyway, let's move on. You stink. You stink so bad this will actually make you cleaner. Torrent of duck sauce. What is duck sauce? Just the kind of sauce you'd cook with a duck? Is it made out of duck? Is it liquid duck with spices? No, not Huey, Dewey, and Louie. They died for a good cause. They blasted a very stinky war hippie. They'd have wanted it this way. Okay, let me see. I think we've seen this one before. What else we got? Fire spinner. This is new. This hippie is twirling 2 flaming bags of something. Oh, great. It's flaming poo, isn't it? Deodorant? I don't know. I just use the stuff that you just get in the store. I'm been, for 14 years, a professional with cleaning products. And I've spent a lot of time writing and researching fantasy. So I have actually a strange overlap where I know a lot about cleaning and think about, oh, how do they clean their castles when I'm writing fantasy? How do the rich noblemen do? And, you know, I know about some different acids that they used as cleaning, especially in the 1800s. I can, you know, tell you all kinds of weird shit. But deodorant? In the Middle Ages? They just sprayed perfume on themselves. If they even... Well, actually, the truth is people did bathe in Europe more than is reported by modern... You know, people actually did bathe in much of Europe. Not nearly often enough, but it's the Middle Ages. What are you going to do? But they didn't have deodorant. Actually, there are places in the world where you still can't get deodorant easily. Like, not even weird, like if you go to like Asia, someplace like China, I've heard from people who live in China, they're like, things nobody tells you about China. They don't sell deodorant anywhere. You have to get that stuff special. So, you know, deodorant is a very modern, very, I guess, Western concept. Duck sauce is a DJ duel? Oh. Oh, okay. Alright. Charcoal and spices? Yeah, sure, why not? I mean, if you're in the ancient world, they'd probably just smear some kind of shit on their armpits. No, seriously, the freaking ancient world. Over and over and over, it's like, oh yes, medicines! Most of them are made out of shit. Why? Well, you know, crocodile dung is really good for... No, you don't say anymore. Nope, you lost me. It's, you know... So many times excrement comes up when you're looking at the ancient world. You're like, what is wrong with you people? Oh, we don't know what a germ is. We don't know anything about bacteria. Oh, okay, nope, that doesn't explain it. Seriously? Excrement? What's wrong with you? You don't have to have a microscope to know smearing excrement or making people eat excrement is not good for them. Oh, wait. People still eat excrement. It's the most expensive coffees, isn't it? Yeah. These coffee beans passed through a ferret and came out the other side. Now the coffee's really expensive. The more things change, the more they stay the same. Oh, dear. It's actually kind of impressive. It's like watching a really good yo-yo trick, only with the possibility of charred flesh and burned dreadlock. The fire spinner swings both poi at you at the same time, taking them all around you. Your clothes go up in flames pretty much immediately. And I noticed that this did no damage at all. Actually, you can drive a car on poop. Not human poop, though. No, actually, it was, somebody designed, an engine that would run off of, I think it was, like chicken poop? Something like that. It's got a high, whatever it is, you know how they make gunpowder out of bat guano? Because, I mean, you know, some animals have poop that is apparently explosive. So... I think it was chicken, some kind. Anyway, somebody did design an engine that would run on bird poop. I think it was chicken poop. I would not run that engine personally. I would not want anything to do with an engine that runs on shit. I don't think I'd enjoy it, and I don't think my neighbors would enjoy the smell, and I think I'd find myself getting ticketed all the time, probably because of what would come out of the you know, the back end of the car. But hey, it's a thing that was invented. It does exist. apparently, or so I'm told. You know how it is with, stuff like that. You hear about all kinds of weird things as you go through life, and you don't research to find out which ones are true, because, I don't want to spend my entire life researching chicken poop engines. No, we use human poop for, farming. Oh my gosh, there is the most amazing chapter. No, not chapter, it was multiple chapters. I think it was in the middle of Les Mis. Victor Hugo decides to start talking about poop. Hold on, guys. You gotta hear this. Hold on, I actually saved this. Hold on. Now that we're on the subject, oh my gosh, I actually have it. And it's a LibriVox recording that I have it on, which is in the public domain, so I can totally get away with just playing this. Okay, hold on. Oh my gosh, you will not believe your ears. This is classic literature. Why don't people read more classic literature? It's amazing the things you find in classic literature.
Of Book 2 of Les Miserables.
Let me see.
Please
Let me see. Is this it?
1, The Land Impoverished by the Sea.
The Land Impoverished by the Sea. Can you hear it?
Paris casts 25 millions yearly into the water, and this without metaphor. How and in what manner? Day and night. With what object? With no object. With what intention? With no intention. Why? For no reason. By means of what organ? By means of its intestine. What is its intestine? The sewer. 25 millions is the most moderate approximative figure which the valuations of special science have set upon it. Science, after having long groped about, now knows that the most fecundating and the most efficacious of fertilizers is human manure. The Chinese, let us confess it to our shame, knew it before us. Not a Chinese peasant, it is Eckbert who says this, goes to town without bringing back with him, at the two extremities of his bamboo pole, 2 full buckets of what we designate as filth.
2 buckets of what we designate as filth. What we designate as filth.
Thanks to human dung, the earth in China is still as young as in the days of Abraham. Chinese wheat yields 100-fold of the seed.
What is Chinese wheat? I've never heard of this product. Do you mean rice, Victor? Are you talking about rice, Mr. Hugo? I think you're talking about rice. Could be wrong. Maybe there is such a thing as Chinese wheat, but it's the first I've ever heard of it.
There is no guano comparable in fertility with the detritus of a capital. A great city is the most mighty of dung makers.
A great city is the most mighty of dung makers. He's completely in earnest. He is not trying to be funny. He is completely dead serious this whole way, and it keeps going.
Certain success would attend the experiment of employing the city to manure the plain. If our gold is manure, our manure, on the other hand, is gold. What is done with this golden manure? It is swept into the abyss. Fleets of vessels are dispatched at great expense to collect the dung of petrels and penguins at the South Pole. And
what are you even talking about? Fleets of ships are spent at great expense to gather penguin poop? I don't know much about France around the Napoleonic period, but what are you talking about, Victor? Was there this great need for penguin dung at the time? What for? What? It's just like, anyway, I'm not going to play it. It goes on. I mean, it goes on. Like, I don't even, I think it goes on for hours. It's amazing. He keeps talking about the sewers. and talking about the sewers. And there are all of these incredible gems in there that just will make your jaw drop on. Oh, man. Like, and then I swear Les Mis is the reason that sewer levels are in all RPGs. I swear, when he gets to describing the sewer, and at some point, he makes it like a dungeon. And then he starts talking about specters, and it's like, oh great, now there's undead down here. And goes on and on about it. And then, but the sewers have their own Christopher Columbus. They do. And he has this little bit about there's Napoleon, there's all the bravest, like bravest men of their age, like all, tough grenadiers and, just all the different stuff, cuirassiers, but, all the different things. And, Napoleon, sir, there's this really brave man. Ah, well, what has he done? He wants to go into the sewer. Treating it as though this is the bravest man in France, and the horror that people had, and how terrified they were of this black abyss that runs under the city. It's amazing. It is just amazing. It is a work of art. It really is. Oh my gosh. And you have to remember, this was around the time that the Thames would have had the Great Stink. For anyone who doesn't know that, just Google it. I think even today I found out, did a video on it. The Great Stink. It happened in England. TLDR. They made their river really, really stinky. And then they had the hottest summer on record. And all the ways that their Senate tried to get out of dealing with the problem and just not worry about it, but they had just built a brand new building right on the riverfront, right there where all the stink is. And so they're trying to spray the curtains with things, and they're trying to, fling stuff onto the river to keep the stench, and they can't. There's no stopping it. There's no help for it. And so they're finally forced to solve the problem. Someone got knighted for designing the sewers. You can be a sewer knight in England. You can actually be knighted for sewer work. Because it happened once. History, man. History. Things no fantasy author would think to write about have happened. Oh, man. Really? I had no idea. I always hear about, I always hear about the Oriental diet being rice-based. Everything is rice and fish, and they grow, I think they grow, shrimp in the rice paddies, so that you're getting meat and rice from the same plot of land at the same time, which is pretty cool actually. It's up there with what the Native Americans did with bean, squash, and corn all growing together. Like, that's pretty cool when you can do that. But anyway, yeah, I have weird interests. Okay. I am not surprised. Yep. This is a sweat lodge, a crude wooden building filled with hot coals that hippies sit in whenever they want to sweat out all the toxins and impurity that they're so sure the modern world fills their bodies with which they're so sure the modern world fills their bodies. Why did you say the same thing twice? Is there some subtle difference here between these two sentences? Oh, well. You're the people who live out in the middle of... Oh, wait, you do drugs all the time. Okay, maybe you do. Maybe you're doing weird stuff that does need to be purified. I don't know. I don't think your sweat carries a whole lot of things out of your body other than salt. I don't think sweat pulls impurities out of you. I don't believe that happens. Could be wrong. I don't believe so. This one has wheels on it, though, and it's coming right towards you. As scary as the idea of a big box of naked hippies is, the idea of a big mobile box of naked hippies paralyzes you with fear. Nearly. One of the hippies lobs a gas balloon at you, but you inhale the gas and talk funny for a while. If it's full of helium, he can't throw it at me. He's going to throw it and it's going to go... And he's going to feel really silly while you stab him. Or paddle him, I guess. Anyway. Sauce! A naked hippie emerges from the hatch on top of the sweatshop and lobs a balloon at you. It pops near your face and you smell something weird. Increased chance of fumbling for one adventure, thanks. As you finish the fight, you see a nearby war tender mixing up a cocktail of vodka and pain for a trio of charging hippies. Right on, brah, you shout. How far have we come? Ah, we got a chunk more out of them. We better keep going. I'm gonna take you all out. Oh, hey, ginger ale. Another of you. Yeah. Oh, I love history. Oh, it's armored. I don't see the difference. It looks the description's the same, so I guess it's just... It actually takes me 2 hits to bring down a sweat lodge. I guess the first is to melt the walls, and the second is to melt the people inside. Lock and stock sandals. +7 stench damage. This is an incredibly old and crusty pair of Lock and Stock brand sandals. Like most brand-named hippie products, they're organic, cruelty-free, and very, very expensive. One might argue that a real hippie, one without a trust fund or wealthy parents, wouldn't be able to afford these and wouldn't wear them anyway because brand names are a capitalist construct. And one would probably be right. Anyway, faux hippie gear or not, these are certainly some stench-tastic shoes. Ha! Well, you'll have to catch the archive video. I haven't tried the Crusader Kins yet. Oh, what is this? A gourmet. This hippie wears a camouflage chef's hat and tie-dyed apron of the elite subunit of the baker community, the Green Gourmets. Their mission is to take the art and science of stoner cooking to the next level. Forget brownies and cookies. These guys are kicking it up a nug. He makes a plate of herb-infused sushi, then pelts you with several magic rainbow rolls. So, food that hurts people. Okay. Nothing surprises me in this game anymore. I say that, but the game is going to surprise me somehow. It'll find a way. Maybe it'll give me a completely ordinary generic dungeon next. I would not be expecting that. Like, here you go. It's just a sewer, like every other game has. Okay, yeah, we've seen this one before. It's not a new form. That's fine. Take down more hippie warbakers. I'm halfway tempted to pull that, to continue playing that thing, because it's... I'm not kidding. That was my favorite thing in Les Mis. You know, you'd be surprised at the weird shit that happens in classic literature that nobody ever talks about. I think it was War and Peace. Randomly, one of the characters gets drunk at a party. If I remember right, he tied a policeman to a bear and threw them in the river. And everyone's reaction is just like, oh, that's just some drunken act of debauchery. Like, everyone is just like ashamed of this debauchery. And I'm like, you caught a bear and tied a man to it. And then you threw it the result? How? This is the most badass thing I've ever heard of. What do you mean everyone's ashamed of the debauchery? Is this normal in Russia? Is this just how people were back then? Holy shit. This is an old wizened woman who has spent her entire life bringing herself more and more in tune with Gaia so she can use the Earth's power against those who would defile it, using earth, wind, fire, water, and heart. She casts unbelievably potent spells without having to say a word. She's the most powerful shaman, or Shah person, who ever lived, and she's ready to give you what for? For what? For Gaia. She rubs some of medical-smelling ointment on your upper lip. Your sinuses instantly clear, and your nostrils feel about 10 times as big as they were. Oh, crap, I'm extra vulnerable to stench for 10 adventures. You can smell everything, man. Wow. That's a hell of a debuff in this environment. I was gonna say, I guess thank you for clearing my sinuses. I've had a cold all week and I haven't been able to smell anything, but now that I'm smelling this battlefield, no thank you. That was not so nice. You see one of the frat brothers line up 3 hippies or simultaneous paddling. Don't bathe. That's a paddling. Light incense. That's a paddling. Paddling a homemade canoe. Oh, you better believe that's a paddling. A homemade canoe. That's kind of cool. Oh my gosh, did you see that 43? I am seriously vulnerable now. Spooky damage. Don't care so much. Gaia, hear me. Let your darkest servant swarm. A cloud of bats swoops down. Oh no! She's a vampire! I better call in some aid. Where's the, thingamadoober? Here, just have an exploding hacky sack. You drop a hacky sack on your foot, kick it over your head, bounce it off each shoulder, and then each knee, then towards your opponent, where it violently explodes. That's the worst idea I've ever heard of, playing hacky sack with explosives. No, it's not the worst idea I've ever heard. I take that back. Still, it's a pretty bad one. Here we go. A nearby keg tank rolls over your opponent and rolls up to your opponent and fires a volley of beer cans. You see one of the fortunate 500 make a quick call on his cell phone. Some mercenaries drive up, shove 3 hippies into their bitch and meat car, and drive away. Kidnapped by mercenaries. Oh, that's rough, buddy. Well, my hit points were over 300 earlier. It looks like a lot of my stuff is fading out, and this unbelievable debuff is kicking my butt. You ever hear about the, I can't remember which World War it was, but there was a company that had a pet bear, and they'd feed it cigarettes. Ever hear about that one? Or how about the White Death? This incredible sniper in, was it Sweden? I think it was Sweden. I think. Anyway, it's, yeah. Just this sniper that just was a living terror. His story is amazing. Oh, actually, pretty much anyone who got a Medal of Honor, just about, it doesn't matter which one you pick. Sergeant York is a good one, but they're all like, holy shit, this happened for real? That's incredible. Yeah. Those ones. There was, oh man, I think there was some sniper lady that was a Russian. Oh, there's a number of, just, history is amazing. Yeah, the bear would eat cigarettes. I don't know. It's just a company had a pet bear that ate cigarettes in World War II. I don't even remember what nationality they were anymore. I don't even remember who it was. Somebody, though. This is the elite captain of a 1965th Infantry Division, or jerry-riggers as they're called. He was promoted after he made a bomb out of a rubber band, a paperclip, and 3 wads of chewing gum. Ah, you sound like you're MacGyver. As he's often been quoted as saying, anything you can think of lacks only an explosive component to become a bomb. I guess that's true enough. He rigs together a Genelin TM trademark bottle, a foot of hemp rope, and 4 tofu dogs. It somehow explodes and showers you with shrapnel. And then I blast him for like a crap ton more damage. Finish! Ah, okay, finish. Sorry. Yeah. Next time they make a World War II game, they should just let you play as him. For the entire game. You want somebody who can take out a whole ton of soldiers? Oh man, he's the guy. Syrian brown bear. Polish! Okay, the Poles did it. There it is. Yeah. I know a guy who's into, like, you know, you ever meet those people that are really into World War II for some reason, and they've collected, like, all the model tanks for, like, every nation, like everything, and can tell you all about each one. It's like, yes, and this tank was never used in battle. Well, then how can you say it was in World War II? And he can tell you all the defects in every kind of tank and all the advantages. Like, yeah. Yeah, I know one of those guys. So, you know, I've gotten pretty good dose of random World War II stuff. I guess there must be a lot of those people because there's so many World War II games to cater to them. There must be a lot of those people. You see a war frat grill sergeant. Oh, wait, we haven't. He's hosing down hippies with white-hot chicken wing sauce. You love the smell of habanero in the morning. It smells like victory. Actually, yes, a sorcerer would approve. Yep, she approves of this. Alright, we are down to 7. I don't know, probably. Oh, hey, look, a flowing hippie skirt. +9 mysticality and a power of 180. Not bad. Well, let's go ahead and take a moment to survey our damage. Oh, wow, we've cut them way down. There are not a whole lot of them left at this point. I'm not allowed to wear this, though, am I? No, actually, I totally am. Okay, cool. We'll put that on. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Oh, there's something better. A dangling Chad's loincloth is better. I don't care. I'm putting on this. Drat! I have to have the denim pants on. Curses! Alright, fine. Fine. I can't wear hippie skirts while fighting the hippies, huh? Alright, be that way. I don't care anyway. Alright, continuing. Alright, you always take 2 hits. What if I just blast you with Soul Blaze instead? It writhes in agony. The Sweat Lodge? The Sweat Lodge is writhing in agony. Huh. Hippies are doing some weird shit, man. They're animating their sweat lodges. Didn't know they could do that. Oh, we've hit our first wall. That's okay. I suppose I'll just eat some stuff now. 30 adventures, boom. 30 more adventures, Boom! Wait, I have another. There it is. 30 more and stinky breath. Oh, that's the limit. Let me see. I need... Snookun? Nope, we're full. Alright, 90 adventures. This'll probably do the trick. This'll definitely do the trick. That's plenty. Okay, I haven't seen that one. There was this model for this thing that was supposed to go over minefields that there was a design for, but was never actually built. There's actually several amazing designs for things that were never built. There was something crazy like a submarine that could tunnel through the earth that was completely impossible and impractical, but there were designs for it. This is the senior officer of the hippie Air Force, whose motto is, "We're like totally high, so high, man." Since the hippies don't have planes or helicopters and all that. Yeah, we've heard all this. This officer has trained her ferrets to perform advanced aerial attacks when she blows a whistle that only ferrets, and people who have listened to a lot of Mariah Carey, can hear. She blows one short too long and another short on her whistle. Squadrons of ferrets swoop in, scratch you, and piddle on your wounds. I don't want to fight you anymore. You don't fight fair. Then again, in ancient times, ferret piddle might have been a medicine for disinfecting wounds. You never know. Another one bites the dust. Bump, bump, bump. Another one bites the dust. Another one gone, another one gone. Another one bites the dust. Hey, I'm gonna get you too. Another one bites the dust. I wish they'd stop getting the drop on me. I swear, they all go first. Am I wearing something that massively slows me down? Ah, well. Bonk, bonk, bonk. Okay. So, there can't be too many more. Oh, what's this? Green Ops Soldier. This hippie, constantly shrouded in a cloud of green smoke that renders him nearly invisible. I'm so glad that my nostrils are clogged again. You think he's advancing on you, but it's hard to tell. He vanishes in a cloud of smoke, then sneaks up behind you and gives you a big smelly hug. Oh, he just gave me a hug, and then I blasted him with tartar sauce. Oh, I don't mind. You can ask odd questions, and you can ask even questions. As you please. Oh, right, yeah, I needed to come back with the, That's right. But I can go... Yay, I healed a hit point. Can't remember. Was there something I get from here? Okay, well, I have to dress as a hippie to visit those, and I have to... Let's see... Elvish. All attributes plus 10%. Your brain is full of the manners and customs of the ancient pork elves. When you walk, your hips gyrate like those noxious elf. When you talk, your lips curl in a sneer like that of a mighty elf. When you think, your thoughts are as mystic as the pork elf's favorite food, the fried peanut butter and banana sandwich, known for its mystic nature. Okey-dokes. Cool. Yeah. Apparently I'm told that the Italian tanks at the time were pretty bad. The German tanks were all weak in their rear. They all had all this armor in the front, but their cannons, a lot of them were like had very little turning ability. so they could shoot one direction and would just hit like incredibly powerfully, and they'd have all this armor. But if you could get them from behind, most of them were really, really bad. It was like their philosophy. Our stuff shoots further, it hits way harder, it blows anything up in one hit, and we just won't let anything get behind our lines. Then they ran out of gas. That didn't work out so well for them. This is a hippie that knows all the ailments, including injuries, are caused not by microorganisms or physical trauma, but by disturbances in the vital life energy that keeps us whole and in tune with Gaia. In addition, she treats illness and wounds with natural medicine, instead of the regular kind that comes in pills and potions. How weird is that? She sees you have dandruff and rubs hot tar all over your head. What kind of treatment is that? I don't know, it might get rid of the dandruff and the top layer of skin. It's a trade-off, Huh. I don't know. That is a superpower which I do not share. I suppose if you would be familiar with those, you probably would be able to estimate. I have no idea. Italian thing? Did I blast someone with Italian dressing in a lewd manner in one of these fights? Or do you mean that they're tanks? Ooh! You've put such stuff in your hair like Captain Blackbeard, huh? The hippie is a fire starter, a twisted fire starter. In fact, because after he starts the fire, he spins around his head on 2 chains while he starts another one. He can do all kinds of nifty advanced tricks with this quartet of fire. But my personal favorite is, "Oh God, I screwed up and you have to put me out" trick. Well, that's because you didn't spray your dreads with asbestos before starting your show, obviously. How did you forget that critically important step? My clothes are on fire again, but it doesn't seem to hurt me. Wait, he didn't damage my, he didn't damage my gear, did he? No. I didn't get a debuff that says my clothes suck, so we're good, I guess. Huh. Oh, well. Oh, no, that was the German ones. The German ones had, they put all the armor on the front of most of their models, I'm given to understand. The Russians, oh man, the soldiers abandoned Russian tanks all over the place. The soldiers hated them, but historians give them all this credit because for whatever reason, I don't know why, but somehow the shape of like the prominent Russian tanks, bombs from planes would just kind of bounce off them and not explode. Apparently. It doesn't make sense to me either, but apparently it happened. That was just it. So historians are all like, yes, their tanks were amazing. Oh my gosh, the things that they did back then. Was it the Russians? Oh, here's a new one. Was it the Russians who would train dogs? That I forget. It might have been them. It might have been someone else. They would train dogs to find treats underneath vehicles. Oh, you this one. Oh boy. So dogs associate underneath tanks with treats. Tanks don't have armor underneath them because nobody is trying to fire a bazooka from underneath a tank. That doesn't happen. Then they would strap explosives to the dogs. And this is going exactly where you think it's going. In fact, I don't even need to say anymore. That war, man. That war. They did everything in that war. They did everything! Yep. Oh, that's not even... Like, I could name even worse acts in history involving warfare with animals. But we'll save it for after this guy. At the base of a heavily contested hill, you encounter a bearded hippie bent over tying his shoe. You catch a glimpse of his dog tags and recognize him as Slow-Talking Elliot, one of the most lauded soldiers in the hippie army. Legend says the only reason he's not one of the top generals in the Army of One is that his superiors asked him if he wanted a promotion. He took so long to answer that they had all been killed in battle before they had a chance to give him the rank. You, he says in his trademark drawl crawl, you're one of those. You lay back in the grass and take a nap while he pauses between sentences. Infidels. At this point, you get tired of waiting around and charge him, your weapon at the ready. He tells you a story full of folksy humor and homespun wisdom. Around sentence 3, you fall asleep, standing up, and fall over. Poof. And he goes down in one hit, too. Ooh. Unique item. Muscle plus 30. Combat initiative. Up, you've lost me. A combat initiative penalty. I'm done. So, who was it? Genghis Khan or... Oh no! All covered in what's it for 5 adventures. Continually take damage. More likely to fumble. You've been pretty thoroughly dive-bombed by a bunch of ferrets. A bunch of ferrets who've apparently been raised on rotting fruit and moldy bread. Can't I just take a bath in the sea? I think it was Genghis Khan. I'm just going to go with Genghis Khan. He had a city... Oh, no, wait. Maybe it was a Japanese general fighting another Japanese commander. Ooh, I don't know. Anyway, somebody can't conquer a city. They can't. It's got walls all around it. It just, you know, it's got all these defenders. Just can't take it. A siege thing is just not working out. So he offers... peace. I don't remember which. It might have been, I want to say Russia, but you should look it up. I want to say it was Russia. Yeah. Anyway, this conqueror couldn't take this city, so finally he offered peace. Now, you might expect this to be a tear down your walls and I'll give you peace, followed by immediately conquering them when they've torn down their walls. And while that has happened in history, seriously, if you have a walled city and somebody with a big army cannot get into your city because it has walls, and he asks you to tear them down, don't do it! I mean, come on, it's an obvious trick. It's an obvious trap. Come on now. No one wants you to tear down a wall for peace. Just no. It's no. It's like, I have a big army. I can't get in. Would you tear down your wall? Anyway, no, that's not where this story goes, though. No, this guy, he offers peace if you just give him... There's this bird in the city, some, I don't know, pigeon or something, whatever, some kind of bird that lives in the city. If you give me so many hundred of these birds as a peace offering, I'll go away. Go on. Guess what the conqueror did with all these birds. Take a wild guess. I'll wait. Yeah, ancient world kaboom. He tied flaming whatevers. He tied fire, basically, behind all the birds. All the birds go back into the city, back to their nests, where they live, because, you know, that they're from the city, and set a ton of fires inside the city. That's, yeah. You know, if you're in the ancient world and your enemies do anything, I don't care if it's a giant wooden horse or they're asking for birds or what it is, whatever your enemy wants, don't do it. In fact, you should probably do that lesson in any time period, actually. Pretty much without exception. If your enemy's like, hey, would you do this for me? I'll totally give you peace if you do this thing, and it's something weird. Not give me money, okay? If they say give me money, it's like, okay, I understand you want money. Your motivation is clear. But if they ask for something weird, it's a trick. It's definitely a trick. Just you don't even need to. You just don't even think about it. Just be like, no, no, no. We're doing good. You can't get in our city. That's how we want it. You know, your giant horde of barbarians is on the other side of the wall. Everything's fine. We have food and water. We're not starving to death. You know, we're okay. And just eventually you're gonna get bored and go home. I mean, it's not an ideal strategy, but if it's working, it's working. Don't take what the enemy wants you to do. Yeah. Okay, let's take a look. We're getting close. I can go. We've only got 5 left and 1 lodge that we can see visibly. Okay, we are really close. Which is good because we're also really close to running out of adventures. Oh, hey, look, another named enemy. It's a mini-boss. In the midst of the battlefield, you are accosted by the dirtiest, smelliest hippie you've ever encountered. And trust me, that's saying something. He pushes his long, stringy brown hair out of his face and frowns at you gloomily. Hey, man, I don't want to be a bummer, right? But I've got something really heavy to lay on you. The lads say I've got to kill you, right? And I told them I don't believe in violence. I mean, I'm a vegetarian because I don't abuse my body or the world I live in. You monster. You eat cheese, don't you? But nobody ever listens to me, right? So anyway, sorry about this, man, but look at the bright side. You could have been me and ended up having a really bad time all of the time. You decide to kill him so he'll shut up. Neil hits you in the groin with some handy debris and then apologizes for being really selfish, negative vibe merchant. I bet he goes down in 1 hit. He went down in 1 hit. So much for Neil. Oh, what's this? A wig. This is a long, stringy, brown wig. You didn't even know Neil wore a wig. Plus 20 stench damage. Mysticality plus 5% in a hat with a 200 value? Crap. Yeah, I have to have the beer helmet. Darn! It's actually better than what I'm wearing right now. Ah! Stupid beer helmet. So we're down to just the most hardcore troops. Like every fight here seems to be an advanced unit at this point. They're all the elites. All that remains is their mighty men of valor. Well, we're going to have to start pulling out the booze. It's fine, though. I crushed both armies. I went into a war and crushed both armies. That just feels awesome, you know? Oh, hey, look, a protest button. Damages attacking opponent. Button reads, you can't hug your children with automatic crossbows. It's so amazingly stupid that any enemy who reads it will suffer a small amount of physical damage from dying brain cells. I bet I could build an automatic crossbow that would hug children. Automatically. As a ranged attack. So there. Alright, let's see. What do we want to use here? I That one's only good. No. Oh, come on. What do we got? Suppose we could just go with some goods. Let's try this one. Your cheeks flush and everyone in the room gets prettier. Ah, beer goggles, is it? Okay. Nope, that's only an 8. Let's see. Ooh, that's only a 6. You know, let's go back to the something something. Yeah, that one seems like it's okay. Let's see, is this a mere potency 1? Okay, we'll take this cherry. You squeeze the booze out of the cherry and down it in one gulp. You consider tying the cherry stem in a knot with your tongue, but your mama told you nice girls don't do that. Okay. Well, you know, 3 more adventures. What? The darkness behind me? What darkness behind me? Well, I mean, it's the Alaskan winter, so, you know, it's pitch black out most of the time. Actually, we have a fair amount of sunlight now. It's transitioning. We're getting more sunlight every day. But in a few months, it's going to be 24-hour sunlight that never goes away. So my window, I completely just covered up when I decided I was gonna do videos and stuff in here, and I've put up, yeah, the sunlight will never make it into this room again. There's no chance. It has no hope of getting through all that shielding. Nope. And, you know, then I started putting the soundproofing. I started with big, thick moving blankets, which you can't really see, but they're behind me. And then I started putting things in front of it. You know, this foam stuff. You've probably seen other YouTubers with it in different colors. It's actually kind of expensive. They come in these little panels. And so I started putting those up on the wall. And I went with black, obviously. So, you know, I guess you could say it's artificial. I mean, then I've got lights set up. I use these clip lights. You know, these things. This one just has a piece of paper and some duct tape on it to dampen it, because the light itself is too harsh unless there's something in front of it. I've got one of them up there, and I've got another one down there I can turn on if I want. So, you know, I've got potentially 3 if I want them all. But that's the main one. And it's just got paper and duct tape and some paper towels. Like my lighting setup is completely like... I don't have any of the fancy, smancy, expensive stuff. I just have everything I have. Like the foam is more expensive than my entire lighting setup in here. Actually, a lot of my light comes from the monitors. If I turn the monitors off, that's what happens if I turn the monitors off. This is the amount of light I have to see by. So, you know, make of that what you will. Yeah, no, it's yeah, 24-hour light. The sun doesn't... We're the land of the midnight sun. That's our name. That's what we call it. That's what we call it up here. So, you know, we even have a marathon, the Midnight Sun Run. We have, you know, all kinds of stuff with that. Oil bomb. Up to 80 stench damage. Okay. Organic fertilizer as a detonator. It'll coat anything you throw at it in some serious stench, as well as filling your nostrils with pain and rage. You know, I'd really rather not fill my enemy's nostrils with pain and rage. That doesn't sound like a good plan. I'd rather they just not get back up. Enemies that are full of pain and rage, it seems like a bad plan. Supercritical? Huh. Wow. That's interesting. Yeah, there was, like, atomic weapons is kind of an amazing thing to read about, too. All the weird stuff. I think Britain faked having megaton bombs when they didn't somehow. I forget the story behind that. It was something kind of crazy because they were banning nuclear testing, and they just had to show that they had the really big bomb. And then there's the gigantic one that the Russians built that couldn't be moved. It couldn't be moved. It seems like that's a very bad weapon, you know? Doesn't seem like it's very effective. It seems like maybe a flaw in your weapon design. But whatever. They had the biggest boom ever. And they're like, oh, yeah. At the diplomatic table, like, we had the biggest boom. Don't you forget it. Yeah, okay, yeah, technically that's true. But, you know. The neutron bomb. There's a scary one for you. Oh, yeah? Interesting. Yeah, I was going to say, the neutron bomb was, like they decided it was terribly unethical and banned it, so it's never been used. I don't know if it's ever even been made, but the idea is it doesn't explode in an explosion. All it does is put out a pulse of radiation. And then it's done. Like, it's not even that it irradiates the land for like 100 years. No, it's just, foomp, done. An intense blast of radiation that will just kill everyone and leave all the buildings and everything intact. And, you know, this was deemed to be this horribly unethical weapon. And, you know, you can go ahead and continue to build nukes that will poison the land for 1,000 years or whatever, but don't you build that pulse one. But then you consider what would happen if one was actually used, and it makes a lot more sense. First of all, why did they design it? Well, the Russians, I think it was, were all like, we have these ultimate tanks made out of depleted uranium, and there is no weapon that you have that can possibly hurt them. Well, you said they're made out of depleted uranium? You know that radiation goes right through depleted uranium. Like, everything blocks radiation to some extent. Like lead is the best, but anything, wood, just anything will stop some radiation. Depleted uranium does not. So, oh, you have this incredible vulnerability. What if we just built a weapon that just said, oh, you're in those tanks? Okay, that's fine. The tanks, we can't hurt the tanks, but everyone in the tank is dead. But then you think about what would happen if you used this on a battlefield. Well, the people very close to the explosion will just die. The people further away will get radiation burns. The people a little further away will get cancers and know that they have hours or days to live. The people a little further away know that they have weeks to months to live. Oh shit. There's a whole lot of enemies who know that they're going to die soon, and they're still armed. You know what? Let's not build this weapon. Let's not use this. This is actually not a very smart weapon. Let's not do this. Yeah. See, this is the fun thing about being a writer, is that you research and learn a crap ton of random information. Like, you study, like, just so much weird shit that nobody else in their right mind learns about. And you're like, because, you know, what if I'm in the middle of my fantasy novel and I decide I want to, you know, have something kind of like a nuclear weapon? Well, I better know a little bit about them. You know, mushroom clouds has nothing to do with nukes. Any big explosion will create a mushroom cloud shape. is what happens when there's a big enough explosion. So anytime you have a spell that's a big explosion, you know what it's going to look like. If you want to, you know, be realistic. And I'm actually like one of those... I've always been this way with fantasy. Like, even when I was young, it's like, okay, a wizard can cast a lightning bolt. They're going to know about electricity. What are all the things that they can and will do with their lightning powers? Like if you wanted to create, you know, like what technology does this enable? The fact that you can create, that most people can create light by snapping their fingers? Nobody makes candles. Why would anyone make candles? They're useless now. You know, and I'd always be asking these questions because I have to. I have to know all these things. I just have to. Oh, wow. I found an item that stuns your opponent for a few rounds. Multiple rounds of stunning. That's amazing. Now that I did not know. The average color of the universe? Well, I mean, that would probably be the color of stars, I guess. Natural fennel soda. This is a bottle of natural soda, meaning that instead of corn, it uses sugar as a sweetener, because sugar is more natural than corn, I guess? It wouldn't be so bad, except that it only comes in carob, wheat germ, and fennel flavors. Yeah, actually, I don't know why. There was some history to why corn was being used instead of sugar as a sweetener for everything, but like to American taste buds, well, I don't want to say to all Americans, but on average, Americans prefer the taste of corn syrup to sugar in their beverages and things these days. Yeah, because, you know, it's what we've always... And American chocolate is apparently sweeter than European chocolate, too, in some way. I forget what was up with that. But the average American just does not like British chocolate, and vice versa, of course. I mean, I'd always, growing up, I'd get some German chocolates and cookies and different things, like, every year from my grandmother. So, you know, and I like the taste. It's different, though. It really is different. Okay, I'm getting really close, and I'm starting to get paranoid that I'm going to screw up somehow. Okay, we've got 1, or is it 2 left? Oh, man, we'll save that for another day. There's a lot of... Most alternate history stories are incredibly stupid in their premise, but some of them are amazing. Anyway, I don't know if I'm done yet. Alright. There's still a conspicuous absence of pirates. What does I do? Do you want to have chocolate-covered cotton to munch on while you wait? Chocolate-covered cotton. Huh. Alright, let's see. Alright, let's see. Hey there, yo! Yay, Mega Tofu! What else? The lighthouse. Thank you! Okay, here we go. Still wondering about where all the pirates went. They skipped out on this war. But what are they doing? Are they plotting an invasion once the last of these sides are dead and they can loot and pillage everything because there'll be no one left? Kerblam. Are we done? Nope. Next. Any second now. Nope. Oh, hey, look. I got this thing. Two-handed flail. Plus 15 hot damage. Actually, it's got really good stats. This is a pair of weighted balls on strings. The balls are stuffed with cotton soaked in paraffin. So you can light them on fire and do killer flaming tricks with them, such as butterfly, the flower, and the... Oh God, my crotch is on fire! Seriously, man, put it out, put it out! That was like a brilliant weapon idea. We should use that. Admit defeat. You've already lost. Admit it. It's the strangest thing. Like, we slaughtered their entire army, man, and there was only like one left, man, and she just tore through our entire army by herself. Oh. Uh-oh. No, but we're so close. Hold on, let me check my consumables. Oh, we've drank all we can drink. We've eaten all we can eat. What do we still have? No. Oh, crud. No. Well, I guess this means we're gonna have to come back tomorrow and finish the war. You sure you don't have it in you? Just one more. No, I tried. I did a snow cone earlier, and it said nope. See, these have a size of 1, and my inebriety is right on the edge. Nah. So I'm just gonna drink a fog murder, and we'll come back tomorrow, and we'll finish this off. I want to finish it now. Oh well. Anyway, tomorrow. Until then, until next time and every time, this is Hadriex signing off. No, I'm not saying anything. I was thinking about maybe I'll make some kind of announcement tomorrow. We'll see. Bye. I could set the food meter on. I'll poke around at that.